He is. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics, that's non-classics. This is episode number 1749 and Doubleshot number 1643. I have two more trades by Greg Pak. First up it is The Incredible Hoax, Chaos War. Yep, this book collects issues 618 and 622. Now, 618 and 620. This is the Chaos War tie-in. Yep, the Chaos War tie-in. Now, with this three-parter, basically, Hulk basically faces resurrected people from his past. Also, Doctor Strange here as well. He faces off against, well, old acquaintances of his. The Abomination, Jarilla, his first wife. Well, they say his first wife. They never actually were married. His parents, both the Brian Banner and Rebecca Banner, along with... There's also Zom. Yeah, Zom is in here too. And I'm trying to think here. I think that may have been it. Yes, I believe so. I'm trying to remember who else was in here because basically they just like threw basically a bunch of Hulk villains at everybody. Like Hulk characters. Now, Zom himself, prior to this one, he did previously appear in he is an old, well, he's a Doctor Strange, well, yeah, he's a Doctor Strange villain. Yeah. So... Yeah, Brian Banner, the guy who beat up his own wife. Yeah, also, Doc Samson's back here too, along with Harlem. He apparently was like a lover of was it Korg? Yeah, I think it was Korg. Was basically referred to as his lover. Yeah, so implies the fact this character's gay. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened there. The Chaos King himself is just here, just to remind everybody he's here. Marlo is in this story too. Yeah, she last appeared back in World War Hoax #1, which was released just early on that year. But prior to this one shot coming out, World War Hoax, her appearance was back in Incredible Hulk 604. Yeah. Of course, we got Where's Marlo? Oh, yeah. And also Glenn Talbot's in here, too. Oh, and here's something I find interesting. Does Abomination fight A-Bomb? Oh, yeah. He rips up part of his skin, too. So he's bandaged up for the remainder of this book. Yep. The Chaos War tie-in for this book was really fun. And it was a nice love letter to the Hulk books. That's what Greg Pak did with this tie-in. It felt like basically Hulk just seeing people who were dead. Awesome. Loved it. Next two-parter, 621, 622. It's Hulk versus the Greek gods. Yes, seriously. Fighting the Greek gods like Zeus. And this kind of, in a way, leads into the very next story arc, this particular one. Yes. Though that one is a setup for 2 miniseries. I'll get to that next Comic Corner. Yeah, but this was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed reading these issues. Just purely fantastic. Paul Politer does all the issues of the artwork. Now we have the Smash Files. Scar one, Josh Williamson. Red She-Hulk, Ben McCool. Tim Seeley She-Hulk. Amadeus Cho. Greg Pak, obviously. A-Bomb, Jeff Parker. Tim Seeley, Savage Show. This is Lyra. And Brad McClure. Now, of course, also in the case of the Hulks, this is for them just after the Dark Stun storyline, where in that very story arc, Hulk had to murder, he had basically rid of his second son. So he comes back to Earth, and in the case of She-Hulk, she's the one who cares for Lyra. Despite the fact Hulk is her father, Hulk basically is sad, but he's not like downright upset over the fact his own daughter is injured. Yes, Lyra is his daughter. How she was conceived is weird, to say the least. The way it's explained is that Thundera made out with the Hulk, took some of his saliva, And somehow she used that to get herself pregnant with his daughter. And this is not a joke. This seriously happened. And by the way, Lyra is not in the rest of this event. She's in briefly the very next story arc. But that's it for them. I'm going to give the Chaos Recover Hulks a 10 out of 10 because this was pure fun. Alright, next up it is War Machine, Volume 2, The Dark Reign. This collects issues 6 to 10 of War Machine. Now, 6 to 12, excuse me. 6 to 9 is simply put, basically, like, the issues of this book that don't have the Dark Reign banner on. They removed it from the book. So it's basically War Machine versus a bunch of African warlords for a few issues. That's most of what the issues are, until you get to the last few issues, where you have you have War Machine finally taking on Norman Osborn to get into a fight, and of course, at one point he's briefly arrested, held on trial, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm basically not going to report any evidence." Also, basically, he also says like he basically made an order for his last because he thinks he's going to be executed. He's like, "I'm not here for your show trial, Norman Osborn. So get this over with." By the way, he's declared not guilty anyway because, well, the stuff he did throughout that story basically proved that, yeah, Norman Osborn was a big fat liar. Also, the fact that apparently Norman Osborn was chastised by the higher-ups in the U.S. government. Yep. So, by the end of this, now, Rhodey does, like, you think he dies when he continues Cybernetic, but you think he dies. But nope, he wakes up in the clone body that Norman Osborn has, breaks out of the tomb, and later on he steals the War Machine suit, and he goes visit his mom, who's in here sporadically. Also, American Eagle's in this book, too. Yes, American Eagle. You're thinking, who the heck is American Eagle, you might ask? He's an old Marvel character. Yeah. He's a character who first appeared back in Marvel 2-1 Annual number 6. And by the way, he looked a lot different than he does currently. Oh my gosh. Apparently his original costume was simply like an American costume. Stereotypical. This came out in 1981. And he's a creation of Doug Moak and Ron Wilson. I met Ron Wilson. Very nice guy to meet. Yep, and he's in this book for a little bit. And the weird thing is, American Eagle has not really appeared very much over the years. Like, after his debut appearance back in Marvel 2 and number 6, he also appeared in the first issue of Contest of Champions, one issue of Incredible Hulk, an issue of ROM, had some issues in Marcon Presents, appeared in some issues of Thunderbolts. Yes, Thunderbolts, I talked about this one before. Yeah, though he previously back in 1984, and then he returned to Thunderbolts 112, which was 13 years later. No, seriously, 13 years later. He actually had a one-shot released, yes, called American Eagle, Just a Little Fashion of Justice. It's a one-shot that pretty much, in a way, like, it was reprinted in a book called Marvel Assisted Supersized Spectacular. Yeah, he had a digital first book. He's never had, like, a mini-series per se, but he's here just for these 2 issues alone for War Machine. And then he pops up in Fears of Homefront, 2 issues of Avengers, issue 12, and he did later on appeared in the 40-43, which is leading to the whole thing where Heroes Are Born. A few issues of Agents of Wakanda and one of the one-shots Marvel Voices, and that is it for him. Yeah, 27 appearances in 40 years. Yeah, seriously. And the thing is, he's not that big of a character, so I'm not surprised that Greg Pak used him. He also has a character named Jake O from the pages of Agents of Atlas. Yep. He first appeared at the start of the original. He's a Greg Pak character, so I guess that they decided to use him in here just because. They also brought back an old character from the Micronauts book, Dr. Prometheus. Yeah, they brought him back after he'd been dead since issue 44, which came back in 1982. So when he was brought back, it had been 27 years. Yeah, apparently they brought him back for reasons. Yeah, by the way, the armor mode he used in this book, it's Model 4. It's the fourth Model 4 machine. I mean, it's not like basically. It's not like basically like Iron Man goes to like 60 armors. Yeah. But after basically like this book wraps up, by the way, wraps up really nicely. Though next time we see Norman Oz will be the events of Siege. Yeah, it's interesting though. He appears in this book sporadically through almost this entire run. Doesn't do very much. Mostly he's there just to witness a lot of stuff and basically threaten James Rhodes. Not really do a lot of anything. Though Rhodey's mom is in this book, basically is a recurring character. Excuse me. Yeah. His mother, Roberta Rhodes. She appears in issues 6, 9, 10, and 12. Yeah, though when she appeared in issue 6 and started this book, it was first appearance issue 12 of the previous volume for War Machine that was released back in 1995. These issues were released in 2009. 14 years between appearances. That is something. The fact that the last couple of decades my character have been back in years. Interesting book per se, and well, my final thoughts overall on this book, it's good. But it's not a book people will talk about when it comes to Rhodey himself. Not really, no. Where Rhodey ended up after this? Oh boy. Like, as soon as this book wrapped up, he didn't really take part in Siege per se. He did join the Secret Avengers. He also, later on, the same period of time, now he became part of the Secret Avengers. He was also restored back part of the Iron Man supporting cast with the Iron Man Reliance storyline. He later on got in there a spin-off book that lasted for 12 issues. He then was later, as soon as the book wrapped up, he later returned to the pages of Iron Man for the remainder of Matt Fraction's run. And by the way, for Secret Avengers, he was there for 21 out of 37 issues released for that book over the course of 3 years. And then after that book wrapped up, he later returned to the second volume for Secret Avengers, where he was there for pretty much that entire run. And then I'll get to basically his next ongoing series in a video that will be 2 videos from now. Yep, because this book, actually about 3 videos from now, this book we quite something to talk about because it's also his last official ongoing series released. Now, I can't find Iron Man 2.0 on the app I use, but I might get a chance to find that book soon, because that was actually his third ever ongoing series. First from that point in like 2 years. And then another one released like 2 years later. And then it's been like 8 years. I'll basically explain when I talk about the book what he's up to since the book wrapped up. Okay? But yeah, that's it for review. I'm actually taking a little break. I'm not going to do the third comic corner just yet. I'm going to do that after my review for the final episode of How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Okay? Next video. Bye.